Now we proceed to the next phase of Satsang, where we will listen the the speaker of the day to present his bhav in today's topic, and the topic is Seva. This will be an interactive session, so please ask questions and share your thoughts and understanding after the speaker is done. Our today's speaker is Subhashji from Singapore. We all know him, and he's a very devoted and elevated soul who inspire all of us through his spiritual journey. Most of us met him last year in the 100th Varsikotsav in Varanasi, and this year as well, he was in the USA for a very short period of time for some very important seva. So his dedication, his devotion, and tireless seva bhav inspires and motivates all of us to follow the similar path in our spiritual journey. So, welcome to you, Subhashji, in today's session, and I would like to request you to take us through your thoughts. Over to you, Subhashji.
Thank you very much, Sudhanshuji. Jai Sadgurudeo to everyone. Pranam to all. Brahmanandam Parama Sukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tasmasyadi Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tvam Nama. My prayer to lotus feet of the Sadguru. And once again, pranam to all the participants today. It's a fortunate day for me being here with all of you to provide some of my services, I would say. And I'd like to thank NAIVY team and Suruchiji as well for providing me this opportunity to have an interaction with all of you so that we can learn from each other. I consider all the time to be learned passively, actively, because I believe the whole life has to be like a student, where we have to learn at all different stages of our life throughout the time. And that's how the society is. And that's how we all can help each other, support each other. Maybe someone is expert in one thing, someone else is having expertise in something other part. So once we sync with each other, probably we can elevate not just ourselves, but this can help for the whole society together. And that's why Satsang is one such platform where we can learn from each other, we can evaluate ourselves, we can reevaluate ourselves, we can introspect ourselves, creating benchmark to understand, realize where we stand. Of course, the very first benchmark is ourselves, but at the same time, through Satsang, within the society itself, we get an opportunity to understand, learn, imbibe, and implement few things in our life which probably we missed out on our own. So that's why Satsang is very important, and being a part of Satsang is always an auspicious moment, I believe, for me at least, and that's why thank you very much for having me here. I tried to justify the time given to me for this discussion, and of course, we may have some question and answer depending on whoever has some inquisitiveness. I may also learn from that inquisitiveness from anyone, because I believe that if someone is asking a question and the person who is answering it is enable himself to or herself to answer that question, it gives him or her an opportunity to really dig inside to identify not just about knowing it, but to implement it within himself also. It's not just about saying, and that's what Swarved also says, since today's topic is Seva. It's such a vast and broad topic that probably one day, or I would say 1 week, would not be enough to explain everything. But one of the section, definitely in Swarved, where Swamiji has mentioned that the Seva is very, very unique. One can consider Seva in a lot of different ways, depending on his own understanding, his own comfort, his own circumstances. And that's why there are so many different types of people, and all of them are great people providing their services either to the society, to the nation, to the family members, to friends, to colleagues, to the master, and probably all different lives around us as well. But our life, which has been given by the Almighty, is so unique that it is us, ourselves. We have to choose which way we want to drive our life. It is our responsibility, absolutely our responsibility to drive our own life. The single individual is responsible to choose the direction at each and every moment. No one else is responsible. Other people are just the catalyst, are just the different factors to influence probably, or to help or support in taking your decision. But ultimately, it's individual's decision. So being a part of Vihangam Yoga, or rather I should say, being a disciple of a guru, of the Sadguru, which way we want to lead our life is really in our own hands, not in anyone else's hand. Definitely, Swamiji, his blessings, his ashirwad is there. But ultimately, what has to happen, it is our own choice in terms of the direction. And that's why for a disciple, to be a disciple, to justify this word being disciple, the most important factor is doing the seva, the service. There are so many varieties of seva. Probably one can choose. I think Swarved also very clearly mentions, everyone knows this particular couplet, which has been mentioned at one place in Swarved, that Dhan kaya man vachan se sant param guru se arat deen adheen ho anugami gurudev. Through wealth, through your body, sense organs, or through your mind, or through your mouth, what you speak, how you think, through all these services can be done to the master. But is it really making us unique? The life which has been given to each single one of us is itself unique. It cannot be compared with any other person. Then, if I am doing a service, or anyone is doing a service, how unique it is. That direction has to be, and that decision has to be chosen by that individual himself. Swamiji has very clearly mentioned in Swarved that no matter which way you do, no matter what you do, but the ultimate thing for a disciple to serve means to do the service, the seva, is very clearly defined by Swamiji in Swarved. From what Swamiji says, Guru Agya Palan Kare. Guru Agya Palan Kare. Agya Seva Jhaan. मन वच काया कर्मणा Sadguru Bhakta Yaman. Very clearly Swamiji has mentioned this. The disciple, the one who has to do the service for him or her, the ultimate definition of service, the seva, is to obey the words of the master. And that's it. To obey the words of the master. Now, some people can say, okay, the master never told me anything directly to me in 101, what to be done, what not to be. Okay, absolutely fine. Then how do we say or justify what I have to do? Some people say, Swamiji has mentioned to me this specific thing, I'm doing that. Another person may say something else. Swamiji has told me to do this. This is the very specific thing I have to do. Absolutely fine. But along with this, there is one more thing which I would like to add here, how it becomes complete. Whenever we are obeying the words of the master as the seva, the service, it can be anything. It really can be anything. And it can be that those words from the Swamiji can be given to anyone in any way, in any format. Absolutely fine. And that word or those words given by Swamiji directly or indirectly is peculiarly unique for that particular person. But what that person has to do is very, very important. Two aspects here. Number one is what bhav you have towards that service, that seva. How you define bhav, it is not, I would not say this terminology in English as a feeling. Feeling still would not be defining it completely. I would not say it even emotion. I would not say even your intention. I would not say even any one specific word for this Hindi word bhav. It includes so many things. So basically, the ultimate thing what I would bring here to define this word bhav is to link it with Shraddha and Samarpan. How much devoted you are towards the master is the most important thing. How that will be defined, and that definition comes on the basis of the ego. Ego comes in many different ways. If you would have heard Sant Pravashri Vigyan Devji Maharaj, he has mentioned very clearly that there are 17 types of egos. 17 types. Probably we don't know about those 17 types. But ultimately, the definition of ego is wherever it ends at a feeling of existence of self, where it ends with a feeling of existence of the self, that means the part of the ego is there. And this is what it is called main. Jahan par main hai, wherever this I factor is there, directly or indirectly, the ego exists. So who will evaluate it? You yourself would have to evaluate. Apa aap mitayaka. You have to do it by yourself. You have to identify it by yourself, because it is an inner core characteristic which probably other than Swamiji would no one else know, and you probably, because from outside it can appear something else, but from inside you know exactly what the feeling you have about your existence. So till the time This feeling, if you have to define this bhav in terms of feeling, till the time you have directly or indirectly this feeling that I exist in this service, in this seva, it cannot be the pure one. It cannot be the complete one. It cannot be. It is incomplete. And that's what a sevak, that's what a disciple need to learn it very carefully, very, very carefully. And that's why Swamiji again mentions at one place in Swarved, Sadguru Agyaniyam me, Sadguru Agyaniyam me, Kar Siddhant Prachar, Varto Sahaj Swabhav me, Seva Charan Yadhar. Very clearly Swamiji mentions about this. He has given the direction, what you have to do. The self-introspection is very, very important. At every moment, we need to put ourselves in the shoes of introspection. And that's how we would learn about ourself. Otherwise, it is not possible at all. It is the prime most duty of a disciple to evolve throughout the time with the performance of the service under the guidance of the master himself. Under the guidance of the master himself. So let's take one example in a very simple way. Suppose a disciple has got few words from Swamiji to perform one particular task. Now, if this person, even a fraction of percentage, he has a feeling, he has his own emotion, he has an intention, he has superiority or something else like this. Oh, Swamiji has told me to do this. Me, the factor me, as soon as it comes, 50% you are finished. There only. Believe me, 50% you are finished. And second thing is, it is not just about having a good feeling or having a good bhav. It is not enough even that also for that particular person. Just having that bhav that, oh, Swamiji has told, okay, absolutely pure bhav is there, fine. What about execution? Because when a disciple, a sevak, a person who is serving to the master under the guidance of Sadguru himself, directly or indirectly, to obey his words as it is, as those are, then you have to implement it to yourself and what has been told to be executed also. We suppose, again, in that example, if Swamiji has said something, then that person's prime most objective and responsibility is to execute it at most efficient way. He has to put, or she has to put his complete effort to make that happen. It's not that Swamiji cannot, complete it on his own or something like that. It is not the point. The point is, if Swamiji or any master, I would say, any guru has given few words as a service to his disciple, there is a specific reason behind that. One reason is, of course, to complete the task, but a bigger reason behind that is something else. The bigger reason behind that is to give an opportunity to that disciple to refine himself, herself to the most. Refinement is from 360-degree angle. Let's take another example. I don't know whether this particular example will suit exactly the way it is, probably in overseas. Overseas means countries other than India, but still it is very, very valid, true, valid it is. Begging, bhikshatan. You might have heard this word, right? In Gurukul system, the master tells all of his disciples, go to the society and ask for, or go for begging, basically, for the food, for the items, or whatever it could be. And I think we know the reason behind this, why a master asks this to the disciples, to go to the people to beg. The utmost reason behind this is to not let the ego pop out at any time among those disciples. Remain all the time to the down to earth. And you need to have a habit for not that ego to pop out anytime. Anytime means anytime. That system still exists. Under all master disciples relationship, Guru Shishya Sambandh mein, this bhikshatan, begging system remains true all the time, even today also. It is true, it exists in the same way. And with the same logic, with the same reason also. With the same reason that a person has to go and beg, doesn't matter what, go and beg to keep himself, his ego, and bury it completely. How many of us would be able to accept this? In today's world, I would say in today's modern world, what people have been doing, they have been reading so many things. They are listening so many things from different kind of podcasts, YouTube, and other things. And there are so many variety of things are available now, digitized version, that thereafter they choose and pick on the basis of their own comfort. Okay, this is fine for me, it suits me, I'll do this one. But Seva is not of this type. Seva is a system which takes you beyond your comfort zone. If you're doing Seva, being in your comfort zone is not going to benefit you as an individual. It's not going to benefit you too much. The purpose would not be serve. To do Seva, to do service, you have to come out from your own comfort zone. Then what is the comfort zone? Comfort zone can be for your body, the comfort, right? For your sense organs, the comfort. The comfort can be your mental status. No, I cannot go and talk to those kind of people. It looks awkward to me. Example, that's a discomfort for a person. Similarly, there can be different types of discomfort, level of discomfort. A disciple, believe me, a learner who learns the Seva and service intentionally puts himself into discomfort position to do the service. He takes that challenge. He takes that challenge to keep himself out of his comfort zone, to proceed, learn, and implement to himself. This is very, very important. Service cannot be performed completely being in your comfort zone. That is not the complete objective for a master to give that service to a disciple. If somebody is fortunate enough to receive an order from Swamiji directly or indirectly, or from the master, to serve means to do Seva in whichever way it is, My personal request would be, please go out of your comfort zone with that opportunity. Never ever try to complete that just being in your own comfort zone and try to finish and complete and be very happy. Yes, I have done it. I'm sorry. You may be happy with completion of that task, probably being in your comfort zone, but the objective, the complete objective was forfeited by you yourself. Maybe because of ignorance, maybe because you don't know, or maybe nobody guided how exactly it should be, and that's how the satsang happens for which days. You must take your feet outside of your comfort zone. How? That's what we need to learn, how we come out from the comfort zone. So for that, we need to learn, where is my comfort zone? And can I go beyond my comfort zone or not? And even in that case, our mind is very clever. Our mind must not pinch me all the time. Okay, I'm going out of the comfort zone. I'm doing it. Yeah. I'm doing it. No, please switch it off. Switch that mind off to analyze things the way it does. No, it is not. You don't have to. You don't have to. So first thing is, going out of the comfort zone is very, very important. And we have seen so many different type of examples. No, I cannot do. How do? My family doesn't allow that. My office doesn't allow that. My financial condition doesn't allow that. My health doesn't allow that. My age doesn't allow that. So many things we have to say. Isn't it our own choice? It is our own choice. When we talk about receiving, we have the desire to have the moksha, the salvation. Have we really realized about it, what it means? We have to leave everything behind. What we think, we have such kind of desire. Okay, no, my everything, whatever I have been given, everything should be as it is. And on top of that, additionally, I should receive few more things thereafter. Why? Who will test your eligibility? Who will test my eligibility? It has to be tested. In a way, at one particular point, whatever I have, I means everyone, whoever has whatever, that's exactly as per his or her eligibility at that time point. That's how whatever he or she has is as it is. Then if we are having desire to get on top of that, the whole system behind this requires something from you. And that is your effort to come out from the comfort zone. Yesterday only I was just talking and giving an example to someone. If there is a knife, which is good enough to cut something, but it will not remain that way throughout the time. It needs to be sharpened, either by continuously cutting, using it to cut something continuously, or dramatically or manually need to have a friction with another device to sharpen it. What is the meaning of that? The meaning of that is it has to pass through that struggle. It has to pass through that difficult time. And this is what called going out of the comfort zone. So a sevak, a disciple, a true disciple, always choose to go beyond his comfort zone. Always chooses to go beyond his comfort zone. Always. Because he or she wants to refine his status being a disciple or the sevak. And that choice is every single individual person for. He or she has to identify, because that person himself or herself is familiar about his own condition, status, his own system. No one else probably know. Probably not even the family member would probably know everything about an individual person. How would somebody know what is going on in the inner core? It's you, only you, if possible, to know about that. And that's why I'm using this word, that's why the very easy way To become a Seva Jita Shishya is to accept doing Seva coming out of your comfort zone all the times. All the times. If something comes on your way, if something comes on my way, and I know that, no, how would I do? No, I don't have experience. I have never done this. How did this happen? Who is there to help me? No one is there. I don't have anything else which can support me to do this, to execute this, to let it happen. This, that, blah, blah, blah. Fine. Am I finding my comfort zone in this? Probably. With all these things it's popping out in my mind, probably I'm finding my comfort zone. And that's what the drawback would be. That's what the drawback would be. Go out of the comfort zone. We have to go out from this comfort zone, the zone of the body itself, which is very comfortable to us right now, isn't it? One day we have to leave it. Hardly there is anyone who says that, no, I'm leaving my body comfortably. And that's what the yogi is. Who wants to leave the body in a discomfort position? Probably no one. But if discomfort itself becomes your comfort situation, then there is nothing impossible for you thereafter. Everything is there for you, be it discomfort or a comfort, doesn't matter. It's as it is. And this is what it is called, the state of equanimity. Whether you are in a comfortable position or discomfort position, in a favorable condition or against your conditions, adverse conditions, doesn't matter. You are as what you are, and that's it. It doesn't matter to you, because comfort and discomfort comes in a picture, especially comfort comes into the picture when we think about I, me, my. If you are not at that level, or rather, if I say, if we are beyond that level, we'll always be there the way we have to be. We'll always be there. And this is what we have to learn, and this is what Vihangam Yoga teaches us all the time. Implement everything, anyway, anyhow, everything on ourselves. We have to. We have to. Otherwise, if I'm saying something and I myself have not implemented few things to myself, and I'm just speaking, I'm not doing the justice to those words, actually. How can I? I cannot say anything which I myself have not implemented on myself. Okay, passing on the message is one thing, but that passing of the message has also to be very pure. And that purity will come only when I myself have implemented it to myself. Then only I am justifying those words. Otherwise, Sadguru Sadafal Dev Ji Maharaj told to the Prathamacharya Sadguru Dhamchand Dev Ji Maharaj, it's only you and I who know Swarved all in all. If you will not put your commentaries for these couplets of Swarved, then the true meaning will not be there. If someone else will come and start putting commentary based on some other basis, probably, right now I'm there, you are there, everything of what I have is for you also. It's you who has to provide the commentary on Swarved. Otherwise, all of my effort will go in vain. And the same thing will happen with this Sadgranth also, for which the other Sadgranths have already gone through. The true meaning has disappeared. The true version has disappeared. So what is happening here? It is passing on the true message. Passing on the true message. So if someone who is passing the true message, if he himself has not tasted it completely, he cannot pass it on absolutely the way it has to. Cannot. It's not possible at all. In the same way, we have to test everything on ourselves. We have to take that courage. And this is what a sevak, is always ready to do, all the time, coming out of the comfort zone, prepares himself, herself, to be ready for everything in any way to proceed, at least to proceed. And it has been seen, I can tell you this on my own experience, that the first step is only missing. The day we take that first step from our side to come out of the comfort zone, first step, coming out of that line, the boundary of comfort, immediately after that, all the facilities will automatically be visible, to be seen. Everything is there for you to support, basically. That invisible, those invisible things are not visible to us because we are in the zone of the comfort. As soon as we are out, we have taken that first step out of that comfort zone, Swamiji's blessings are there. He himself is there. And so many things appears automatically in front of you that now it becomes so easy for you, even at that discomfort level. The day a disciple, a sevak understands and learns this, he will always be ready and enthusiastic to take anything, any type of challenge to proceed on. So what has to be learned for a sevak, for a seva? We are not capable enough to provide our services to the master. I'm sorry to say this, but we are not capable enough. It is the Sadguru who has been giving the opportunity to us to do the service, to do the seva. It's his graceful nature that he wants the sevak, the disciple, to be elevated. And for that, refinement is important, purity is important. How it will come? The ultimate purity is linked with the ego. The ultimate thing, I think most of us know, that body and then mind, body and then sense organ, and then mind. So mind is subtle than sense organs are subtle than the body. The buddhi, the intellect, is subtle than the mind, right? Chitta is subtle than the intellect, and ego is further subtle than the chitta. And then the soul, the conscious entity, is subtle than that ego. So we are taming the mind, controlling the mind, we are purifying our intellect, we are putting our effort to purify the chitta or erase the pictures or videos or whatever has been captured inside the chitta. Thereafter, the term comes for the ego, manna, buddhi, chitta, and then ahankar is called. It is not in different order. So the ego goes away in the last. And it's not that easy. It's not that easy. So at that time point, when actually we have to work on ego, and that time we think, okay, let's work now on ego, it is not possible to work out just so quickly. And that's why it has to be proceeded even since beginning itself, since beginning. And that's why it has been prescribed. Even if you read Swarved, very clearly Swarved mentions that Sadguru gives satsang only to that particular person who has performed service to a certain extent. Then only satsang should be given to that person. Then only he is eligible for satsang. Eligibility for satsang for anyone is that person has to be a sevak. He has to provide his services. Then only he should be eligible to receive the satsang from the master. These are all given in Swarved. Every criteria, every parameter has been defined. That's why my request would be to please read Swarved as many times as possible, not just for the sake of reading the couplets and memorizing it. It's good, yes, we should, we must, of course. But we need to read the meaning, not just read. We need to understand, not just understand. We have to implement, not just implement. We have to live it. We have to live Swarved, live, L-I-V-E, not L-E-A-V-E. We have to live, L-I-V-E. We have to live Swarved. They have to live Swarved. And that's the life of a sevak. That's the life of a disciple. It's not easy. But if we have the courage, And it's not just 1 day, 2 day, 5 day, 1 month, 5 month, 1 year, 2 year journey. No, it is not. At initial stage, probably you'll feel like, really, should I do this? Is this really I've chosen in a correct way? But based on my experience and what I have heard from Sant Sri Namdev Ji Maharaj many times, that if you're performing a task and it is just a cakewalk for you, actually it is not the right one. And if you're performing some great task of Vihangam Yoga and there is no difficulty, there is no hurdle, there is no discomfort, that means you have not done the task the way it has to be. You have not justified the task. Without discomfort, without difficulty, without challenge, without adverse conditions, none of the Vihangam Yoga tasks can be performed, howsoever small it is and howsoever big it is. At every stage, right now, for all the disciples, the most important thing is to put their efforts for the Vishwa Prachar. This I'm saying especially on the overseas platform. Vishwa Prachar has been the most important activity for Swamiji right now. We need to understand what is the meaning of this. We have to put ourselves to keep ready anytime for anything. Seriously, I'm telling you, without ifs and buts. Same thing applies to me all the time also. That's why I'm saying this. Every time we have to pray to the Master to give Sadbuddhi, to take the right decision at right time, or right thing, with right intensity, to let the thing happen the way it has to be. The power of Swamiji, the blessings of Swamiji, the dhar of Swamiji goes to everyone. Believe me, everyone means everyone. But there are multiple factors thereafter, based on eligibility, whether you can retain it or not. It comes to you. How eligible you are to retain it and how long, it completely depends on you and you individual. Whether that power, that blessing comes and reflects back immediately, it again depends on you itself. And how long it has to stay with you is also dependent on your own capability and eligibility. How truly we are refining ourselves is a question mark for every single individual. Please, let us introspect our own life. Please, there are so many examples like this. Please, take single step outside your comfort zone. Be ready to test yourself. हिंदी में कहावत है, अपने आप को झोंक देना. You just put yourself in that adverse condition without any ifs and buts, and that's it. Just like as probably someone who is very afraid of water, but still he has or she has the intention to learn swimming. You know what the coach does? One day he just throws you into the deep water. Just throws. You need to have a faith on that coach that he will not let you drown. You'll have to. But the day the moment he will throw you into the water, you will not have any thought process at that time point, because you will put all of your effort to come out of that particular situation, right? But that coach will not let you die. That coach will not let you drown completely, right? He did it only because he wants to make you understand, face the fear what you have within yourself. Fear means what? The discomfort what you have, what we have. which we are hiding within ourselves. No. If somebody would come to know, then they will talk this, that, etc., etc. Come on. Swamiji knows everything, what we are hiding from. Whom? So overall, what I want to just share here is, please have a faith on Swamiji. Have a faith. Keep on praying all the time, every day, every moment. I would say every moment, whenever you remember, just remember him and be ready to challenge yourself to take that step out of your comfort zone. Otherwise, we cannot do service. It's okay not to do, but if you choose to do service, then you need to be up to that mark, basically. Everyone cannot be a sevak. Everyone cannot do seva, service. That's what very clearly has been told. Everyone cannot do seva. That's absolutely okay. But if you put yourself in that position, then it is something different. Sadhana, seva, and satsang. And swadhyay, which is basically reading, listening, and introspecting yourself every moment by your own, on your own. It's our own task. We can sit at our home, meditate for hours. Very good. Congratulations to be able to do that way. And of course, you will be rewarded with that. But that is not seva. That is what Swamiji is giving to you after that eligibility. But seva comes that you are putting your effort to complete the task of the sankalp of Swamiji himself. And that brings bigger challenge, that brings bigger difficulty and hurdles. But of course, on the principles of risk and reward, the bigger the risk and difficulty you have, much more bigger reward will also be there. And that's how everything works. So I would again request to every single one here to please evaluate yourself. Identify where you are. Difficulties would always be there, even in our family life, our day-to-day office life, society, friends. Are we always the same? Are we not facing difficulties? We do. What do? Are we just hiding ourselves or we are facing it? We do. Why? Because it is a compulsory for us. Why can't we do the same thing here when we have to provide service to the master? Have we taken it as a granted? Probably yes. Till the time we take it as a granted, it would remain like that. And the kind of result, what it should work on you, would not work. That's how it is basically. So one day we must realize on the path of spirituality that the importance of seva, the importance of the service to the master is the utmost important and supreme under all different types of seva. Serving the master, serving the Sadguru is the most powerful seva among all different types of services, basically. And at the end, I would close my remarks with one of the couplets again, which I'm sure you know, and then probably we would be open for Q&A if the time allows. And that doha is Sevayaru Satsang Sevayaru Satsang में कोटि विघ्न रह जाए देव सदा फल हंस है मोह ब्रह्म नहीं आए सद्गुरुदेव की जय. Back to you, Sudhanshu ji.
Thank you so much, Subhashi, for explaining this topic very beautifully to all of us. If I just touch few of the points you mentioned about what Seva is, and when you started explaining it, you talked about bhav, which is very important, bhav towards your service. And what is bhav? You explained it as your devotion and surrender and so many other aspects as well. You further mentioned that when you are in the seva, what you have to remove from yourself, that is ego, until ego goes away from us, we are not actually in seva. Further, you talked about so many aspects. Further, you talked about so many things which needs to be present within ourselves. You talked about comfort zone, that how comfort zone and seva are two opposite direction. When we are in the seva, we have to come out from our comfort zone. Along with that, you also touched all the points of seva, sadhana, and satsang, and how a Vihangam yogi who want to be a sevak have to live the life of Swarved, not only read, not only follow, but to live the life of Swarved. So thank you very much, Subhashji, for touching all those points and explaining this beautifully to all of us. Now, I would like to request if anyone have any questions or reactions or would like to share their views on this topic. We have few minutes left. Please come forward and share your views.
Yes, Sadgurudeo.
Ji Niranjan ji.
Good morning to all of you. This was so enlightening, more enlightening than just waking up so early in the morning and listening to Subhasji's enlightening discussion about. I may have missed out the initial 5 or 10 minutes, but I think I caught up very sharply everything else that he said, and it pretty much hit to the heart of the what a seva means actually. And another very crucial point was that satsang only happens because of the kripa of the Almighty, which is Swamiji. And absolutely. And now I may say something here which may, please don't take that as offensive. I'm total Sharnagat to Swamiji, but I do ask these questions because that's the world we live in, just to be a little bit more pragmatic. I interact with so many other sanstans, and the reason for my interaction is curiosity. Not just curiosity to fuel my intellect, but the curiosity from seva bhav. Because I somehow feel that we have from the Vihangam Yoga a direct message of experience from Bade Swamiji, and much more clarity, crystal clarity to all the experiences of all the shastras and scriptures. And I thought that this is the thing that pretty much spits it out, but somebody has to be able to receive it. But in the other places, what I do see is that they are off on a very selfless seva for their whatever they follow, very selfless. But their intent, it seems, is that they have put a leap of faith on something, number one. And number two, they want to grow that organization. And I find that that's what kind of makes me to keep myself in contact with some of those people, so that at least over time. And what I do see is a sense of ego from my perspective, is because they are so indoctrinated into their line of whatever they're doing, and they have no curiosity to hear what I have to share with them. So I would like to hear, Subhasji, your perspective or other Guru Bhaiji perspective, where in spite of doing a selfless service, those people, remember, ISKCON, they're giving out free Bhagavad Gita, no matter where you go, like in front of a temple, sometimes in front of a grocery store, and they're doing, and sometimes when you're driving, that's absolutely selfless seva. And when I engage with certain discussion with them, that hey, this is great, but is your mind, a little bit on the science, and you can easily see that they have less curiosity, less appetite. And then at the same time, Jehovah Witness, I would like to actually have a more candid conversation with them. And I do see that they're so indoctrinated in their own way that, oh, you just keep joining our Zoom calls. You just keep coming, just join our congregations and so on. So how do you view these? Because they are doing prachar from their perspective. They're trying to grow their organization. And so like so many other sansthan is doing that. So I would like to hear, or how do we distinguish from that aspect so that the seva is egoless? Because ego, like you very rightly said, is the subtlest of the subtle vikar that has to be dissolved in order to become a good sevak. Thank you.
Thank you, Niranjanji, for all of your words. So what I understood is basically on that basis, you mentioned, there are many things, in fact, into this. First thing is, it's not true all the time that those who are not associated with Vihangam Yoga, they cannot be dedicated, or they cannot be much more better than a person who is practicing or associated one way or another with Vihangam Yoga. Okay, it is not true all the time. There are many people who are right now outside the Vihangam Yoga regime, but still probably better than in many respects from those who are actually practicing or following Vihangam whole system, basically. Had that not been there, there would not have been any point to do further prachar for Vihangam Yoga. If still there is a need to go for to go to different kinds of people to make them understand, pass on the message, divine message of Swamiji to them, that means there are still probably, I'd say, a big pool of people who are right now outside who need to learn and understand few things. But along with that, the important point what I want to mention here is, for Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj, I mean, this I'm mentioning everything based on my own analysis and whatever I have come across. Vihangam Yoga, Brahma Vidya Vihangam Yoga, right? Even at this stage, we say that 5 or 6 million people have been benefiting from the practices and principles of Vihangam Yoga, but in reality, probably less than, I'm still overestimating the number, but probably still less than 5% of the people who have been really following Vihangam Yoga in true sense, actually. Not more than that, probably not more than that, because it comes with the holistic picture completely. Because we are talking about Brahma Vidya, don't see it just as an organization. It is not an organization. It is not an institution. If you go on the principles of Swamiji, with the objective, the very utmost objective, what he mentioned, based on which he established this organization in 1924, is that at least 100,000 lives will be liberated. So, and that also we know, 100,000, at least 100,000 lives will be liberated means to have one such person, we need to reach out probably millions of people. Among them, probably one that type of person will be available, probably. And so if those many number of people have to be identified, and of course Swamiji knows about that, people like us, you and others, we are just considering this as a random, but there is nothing random. It is known already, because if Swamiji has mentioned that I have already put the seed of Brahma Vidya to all those divine souls to whom the Acharyagan or Updeshta or Pracharagagan, if they go and meet them, they will automatically get attracted towards the principles of Vihangam Yoga. If that is there, then that means Swamiji has already done all the Prachar. And not everyone will come to Vihangam Yoga. This is also true. Not everyone will come to Vihangam Yoga. It is only those unassociated who had been associated one way or another with Swamiji or in past some time with the knowledge of Brahma Vidya will only come. So Swamiji has mentioned also that that doesn't mean that we cannot reach out to this people or that people. We have to reach out to everyone. Everyone, absolutely. So since beginning itself, the Brahma Vidya Vihangam Yoga has been such a superior knowledge, of course, it is, that people never thought of anything actually. Actually, they never thought of what they have or what they don't have, and they were so proud. Even still right now, there are so many people who feel so proud that I'm a Vihangam yogi. They say it actually because they have read survey, they have seen that secret at least in text, and which probably is not available at many places, and that's why they feel it proud. And so many, I'm going to use few words here, which ideally should not, but still, just for the sake of mentioning, they have seen the yoga shame, the chamatkar, the great things what Swamiji has done for many disciples actually. So it automatically make them having faith, belief, and the surrendership towards Swamiji. But ultimately, not everyone will come. Not everyone. Anyone who is associated with Vihangam Yoga, anyone, and going long run, it is not just like that. It cannot be just like that. There is something. Maybe that person himself or herself doesn't know what that something is. If that person doesn't know, that means it is linked with somewhere in his or her past, which still he doesn't know, but he feels like, just like as, I'm again using some our real life example. Sometimes when we, in our young age, when we, see a boy sees some girl, then they feel like, oh, mera janmandar ka rishta hai, something like this. Even at any age it can happen, right? And people, when say you and me, if we meet, probably we feel like, oh, are we really meeting first time? Probably we have met some time ago also. Really, did we feel like that kind of connection, right? From where does that come? There are many more things which still we don't know. The web, how does that web work? We really don't know. But there are so many invisible things linked with the conscious energy that we unless we reach out to that level, we probably will not be able to identify the true essence of it. So coming back to the point, Brahma Vidya Vihangam Yoga is very unique, and indeed, anyone who is able to experience the true essence of Vihangam Yoga, he himself or herself will still be very, very unique. Absolutely. But what is the meaning of true essence of experience of Vihangam Yoga? It's not that you're just sitting in the sadhana and you start having kampan and you feel something. That is not only the true essence of Vihangam Yoga. The true essence of Vihangam Yoga is something different. Something very different, which I don't want to mention here right now on this call, but it is very, very different. It cannot be and should not be mentioned just in words, because it is a matter of experience at a different level. As far as, again, I am no one to comment on other organizations or other practices, but just for the sake, since you have asked, I think all different practices, they have been so great actually, and they have been based on one or another scriptures or probably different practices. The basis has always been the pure, of course, but there are certain question marks on that, and that's why Swamiji has mentioned in Swarved also that the Sadguru itself, who is Sadguru actually, the whole world need to know and understand and realize what is the meaning of Sadguru. There's a difference between Guru and Sadguru. There's a difference between the terminology called Sant and Sadguru. There's a difference between Jagat Guru and Sadguru. Nowadays, terminologies have been used so loosely, and there is no control out of it. Once I heard in one of the Amritwani, Vartman Swamiji mentioned that the whole world, the whole government system should think it in this way, just like as for education, one has to go from one class to another. There is test, board exam test, college test, medical test, engineering test, etc., etc. In a similar way, there should be spiritual test also. It should be there, and then it should be justified on that basis in the true sense, so that the people who are the true devotees, they don't get bluffed, not intentionally, but just it happens. Because it may happen that because of your circumstances, because of your own condition, situation, you may get diverted from one to another because it is as per your need. So I'm coming this specifically because you mentioned a few examples that there are so many people who are devoted and they are distributing Srimad Bhagavad Gita at this place, another place, free of cost, etc., etc. But probably when you go deeper into it, how it happens, you'll come to know that there is some strategy behind it. Actually, there are few strategies behind this. Those who are familiar with the system and process, they know about it. But yes, it is a strategy. It is planning to execute it. This is true that under the banner of Vihangam Yoga, on that managerial skill, management skill, we are still not that professional to execute things the way it has to be or the way the other organizations used to do. Why? Because we never thought it in that way. For us, the most important aspect is the true knowledge of Swamiji and principles of Swamiji. Execution, we have always been believing that everything is happening by the grace of Swamiji. We are nothing, we are no one, we can't do anything. It's all whatever is happening is because of Swamiji himself. Whichever way he wants, it has to happen, and that's why. We can't do anything as such. But in other organizations, it is not like that. Other organizations, people put their effort to execute things the way it has to be. But here, there is again another catching point, which you rightly mentioned, the ego part, right? It is so subtle, which I also mentioned. It is so subtle that if you are not able to control it, no matter how great the principle is, that ego can simply destroy everything. We have seen this example even with, these examples are there even with those people who probably have been able to open their kundalini and reach out to the makartar and all those kind of things. Even for those people also, the ego have become a hurdle and problem, and they have fallen down from that stage to almost nil. It has been seen. There are certain examples on that basis itself. So ultimately, there are so many things involved and included everywhere, everything, that just on one parameter, two parameter, it cannot be decided, it cannot be justified, or it cannot be concluded also, right? So as far as other organizations, people are concerned, they are absolutely great. And I am saying on my own experience basis, they are great in many aspects compared to, if I say myself or some other people also in Vihangam Yoga, they are too great to execute few things. We never actually put our effort and implement those things in our system. And it's happening slowly, but again, it has to happen under specific guidance when the time comes. As rightly you might know, Sadgurudeo Devji Maharaj himself had said, a person went to him and with few money, few bundles of notes in a briefcase, giving it to Swamiji. And Swamiji says, no, I don't need this. It is not required right now. The money aspect will be required in the third generation, not right now. That time, if you will be there, you come again. Okay, so it is not required right now. So please, so like that, right? So everything is happening under specific Swamiji's guidance and his own plan, which we probably may not be able to see in a holistic picture. So if there are few questions, few inquisitiveness, few if buts used to be around us, but again, it's not that I have not felt such kind of, or even much more bigger things compared to what you mentioned. but everything can be eased out. Reading Sankat Mochan, reading Gyan Gudri, reading Swarved, reading Vandana. Seriously, believe me, seriously, when we start feeling connected with these words from these booklets, then we are designed in such a way that the true essence automatically appears within ourselves, and we don't feel like having questions thereafter. Actually, we don't feel like questions. If I give my example, almost maybe 7-8 years ago, I still used to have so many infinite questions to be clarified, answered. I never asked anyone because all the things cannot be answered also. It cannot be because, there is a decorum for answering few things. I mean, can anyone go and ask any question to Swamiji? Probably he will do that only if he doesn't know what he's doing, because the path of his spirituality is very different. But what I have felt that as and more we meditate, the more and more we read Swarved, Sankat Mochan, Vandana, specifically Guru Vandana, we get so much connected with that divine system that something happens within ourselves and we become calm. And any question which comes automatically comes with the answer at the same time. So why I'm saying this, because inquisitiveness is definitely good, but probably all those inquisitiveness can be cleared automatically once we continue ourselves remain connected from within inside through Swarved and other things what Swamiji has mentioned. So to be precise now, all such kind of questions cannot be answered with 100% satisfaction. Seriously, I'm telling you. Cannot be, because there are so many factors involved into it. And we need to wait for some time for all such kind of answers for individually to get answered at one particular time. And the only process behind that is continuing reading Swarved, imbibing it, leaving the life of Swarved and Vandana to let things happen within ourselves, and everything will be clear automatically in front of us.
Very, very thank you, Subhaji. I'll let other Guru Bhais ask any question if they have some others. Otherwise, I may have one or two more questions. But that was very enlightening, and cannot say agree more times that everything you said, that spirituality is not like any other subject. It will require deeper dedication in self-study. And one of the requests I always make is Swarved is not available in audio, and but that's a separate discussion. That will definitely help to distribute, because distributing Swarved to friends and families and larger population, we know that it will go and sit in their cabinet somewhere, and they will never open it. And I feel really guilty myself. I have one Swarved at home, and looks like my wife is the one who reads it. I'm not sure how much she understands. And I'm the one who would really understand, but I don't to read it. So, but these are some of the practical challenges, because everybody has different ways of kind of acquiring the knowledge. But the good thing is that the satsang helps to bridge that deficiency a lot. But Swadhyay is always very, very, it's like a sadhana that has to happen. But I'll see if any Guru Bhai has other questions. And
One thing I'd like to mention, Niranjanji, based on again my own experience and understanding, Swarved, like right now what we have, right, the big Swarved, previously, maybe 2 decades ago or 3 decades ago, it was not like that. It was in 2 parts. And the texts were also smaller than what right now it is. Okay, just try to think. I would say try to think and try to answer yourself just on logical basis. Why right now the Swarved it is, why it has been made this way? What can be the reason? Okay, just this question. Okay, why Swarved has been made so big, so thick? It just has 1,000 pages still, but still it is 2 kg, probably 2.5 kg. Why can't it be so easy to carry or to listen or to read, or etc. etc.? It is not done. It is not that it has not yet been thought. Okay, I'm telling you, previously there were 2 parts of Swarved. It was combined to make it much more thicker and bigger. Previously, when those 2 booklets, two Swarveds, part 1, part 2 were there, if you just put it on top of each other, combined together was thinner than this current Swarved. Despite that, when the real version, current one came, it came with a bigger version. Why it was done like this? If you can think on this line why it was, you will get all the answers about why Swarved is not available in audio and why a few more things are not yet done on that basis.
That's a very interesting thing you're saying, Subhaji. I can understand about the book, because we don't want this to be distributed so it goes and sit in people's cabinet. We want people who really are ready for it. But I think the audio book helps to, it's like if somebody's blind, we still have to provide the information to them so that they can still, through the Braille method, they can get it. So from that context, I think the audio book may be a wiser thing to do. That's my thought. But I think the book, you explained it very rightly. I think that makes a lot more sense.
So okay, I mean, this question answer may continue still, but I think still it would be beneficial. I'm a person from a statistics background. In statistics, we read there are 2 types of errors. Okay, we call it error 1, type 1, and type 2. Okay, type 1 and type 2 error means if there are 2 types of risks, right? Then one method is that you fix one and try to reduce the other one, right? That is one method. And type 2 error is you try to minimize both together to let them together the risk as low as possible. Okay, so to simplify it, say suppose you are going to a market and you are buying vegetables, say potato. Okay, so in the lot of potato, not all the potato are the best potatoes. Suppose some potatoes are not that good also, but you can't just easily pick any one of those. So there are 2 situations here. One is when you pick, say, 1 kg of potato, and the shopkeeper doesn't allow you to choose one by one. You just have to choose in a lot. And what will happen? There are 2 situations. One is when you pick 1 kg, then among that 1 kg, maybe 1 or 2 potatoes are bad. Okay, bad quality. That is one situation. And other situation is basically you did not pick some of the best potatoes. Both are different things, isn't it? So in one lot of potato, 1 kg, you picked some potatoes in which the risk for you is that potato is not of good quality, some potatoes. Other risk is that some of the best potatoes which you could not pick, that is also a risk for you. Which one is a bad risk for you? Picking up some bad quality potato in your 1 kg lot, or could not picking up some best quality potato? Which one is a bad risk for you among these? On a logical basis, for you, the bad risk for you is picking up the bad potato, right? Because even if you could not pick some best potatoes, it is still okay. But if you have picked up some bad potatoes, it is still a bad risk for you. Now you may be wondering what I'm talking about. Why this example? So when you said about those who are disabled, cannot read few things, for them audio thing should be available. Okay, yes, that is heard. That is a valid point. But is there any associated risk available here to others? Because of others, not to others, because of others. So what I see here is, at one side, we are fixing up one risk, that people who are not able to read, for them, we are providing it in audio. Fine, that risk will be taken care with the audio. But because of the presence of that audio system, probably what I feel and believe is that it can be used differently by those who are able to read, probably. So in that sense, the second one is a bigger risk. That's why probably it is not yet available.
Wow, I had not thought like that actually, but you bring up a very different perspective. And maybe you were right, because if people are listening as opposed to reading, something to contemplate actually for me, because for me, all my research, because it started just by listening. And I'm a very poor reader, and I have made a full disclosure in the satsang several times. I'm a really bad reader, but when I put something on my ears, then I could actually really get a lot more uh, in contemplation, not just listening, but really doing searching. So that initiative has to be together. But if that researching is missing, then just listening, then I totally agree with you. Actually, it will not work. Yes, absolutely. But the reading, like you said, is more dedication and more like a sadhana. So more, yes.
Swamiji has written it, isn't it?
Yeah.
He has written it. So when he has written it, so that means there has been reason behind it, isn't it?
I mean, this is a PhD, and we don't want everybody to enroll in PhD. So, but at the same time, we have to do prachar. So, and that's where a lot of the challenges happen, actually, which I have personally experienced and have heard also Guru Bhais. So I think because the PhD cannot be taken to the mass level, there has to be some strategy, like how to kind of uh, bring this so that the Hans, because Swamiji, what he is like he's seeking is Hans quality, and not like anybody who just enrolls themselves into bhajan and kirtan. That's my understanding.
We don't have even a penny of capability to find a Hans, isn't it? We cannot. It's Swamiji, right? We cannot, right? It is Swamiji. If there is a Hans, it exists, and on time it has to be associated, of course, with Swamiji, then probably that person even may not require us. Swamiji can appear in front of that person either in physical form or with voice or even in dream and do whatever he has to do. He can do all those things. All the things are possible. The bigger point coming here is what I mentioned also when I was talking, that for a disciple, what do we really think? What we are doing is really doing for Vihangam Yoga and Swamiji, or what is happening with us is happening for ourselves to purify and becoming eligible to have that thing to happen within ourselves. I always take it that it is happening for me. If I'm doing anything, it is happening for me. I'm not doing anything for anyone else. I cannot. No one can. We don't have capability to do anything. It's all by Swamiji. We cannot. We are just the medium. We are just the medium. We have seen so many examples. So many great people, so many great knowledgeable people. When they come and stand on the stage, they are dumb. Not even a single word is coming out of their mouth. And on the other side, a person who doesn't know anything at all, never spoke in front of anyone. Swami, okay, go and speak. The person speaks like no one can speak like that. So the prachar of Vihangam Yoga, everything happens in a very, very different way. So for a disciple, what I see is if I'm doing prachar, seva, service, whatever it is, and I feel that I'm doing something, right? I'm doing prachar. I have connected 5,000 people and so on and so forth. Good, very good. Congratulations to me. But what is happening to me? Am I increasing something which I should not have or not? Am I protecting myself also or not? And that's what the bhav comes under the seva. What is the intention? What is the feeling? What is happening with me as an individual? So for prachar and prasar, whatever is happening, it's not just one thing which is happening. Prachar and prasar, when it is happening, of course, to connect and reach out to those people who so-called I'm using it in quotes, so-called. We believe that they are not associated with Vihangam Yoga. We are reaching out to them, but at the same time, that Shishya is getting that opportunity, right, to refine, purify himself. Just doing the sadhana will not give everything. If that would have to happen, then the word Seva would not have existed. The Satsang would not have existed. Swarved would not have been required. We just sit at one place and just meditate, right? So whenever we are into a job of doing prachar, please, I take it to myself is, it is happening for me bigger way, to purify myself. To purify myself. Can we change anyone? We cannot. Can we really give knowledge to any new person? There are so many upadeshtas. When they do upadesh, really something happens? Do they have that kind of grace all the time on their own to let that new person being impacted by that upadeshta? Is it possible? No, it is not. It all happens by Swamiji himself. Isn't it? So we cannot do in a way that's why, and it is very true, we cannot do in a way, to many large extent, anything in a way. What we can do, we can only put our effort, without even thinking what result is going to come or what result is not going to come. Even if at one particular thing, at one particular point we feel, oh, I have given my 200%, this has to happen certainly. You never know, it may happen just reverse of it. So our part is only to put our effort, as much as effort is possible. And again, I repeat, coming out of our comfort zone, because it is for us as well. There is a part for us to play for ourselves as well. Otherwise, prachar prasar would not have been required. Swamiji could do it from his own, wherever he is, from there itself. But if we are involved into this at any one place or anything, it is for us also to get that opportunity to refine ourselves under the guidance of Master himself. Because all different people have come to this banner from various different backgrounds, from various infinite number of past lives. Who is connected on which way? Who has done what in past? Who is doing right now in which way? A single individual person cannot identify that. So the system has been designed by the Master himself. And that system, if we are a part of it, we should be thankful to the Master giving us the opportunity to refine ourselves. Otherwise, at one day, many times it happens that, okay, no, now you don't have to do anything. Please stop everything. You just sit at home and do your sadhana and seva and etc. etc. No prachar. You don't have to. It happens like this also. It happens with many people. In fact, what I say is, those people who are doing prachar and prasar, they require more refinement within themselves. And that's why they are getting that opportunity to do prachar and prasar, so that they can realize, not just by saying, but to check within themselves also, are they really up to that mark, what they're saying? So we should take it in that way.
Thank you so much.
Jai Sadgurudev, Subhash ji, Jai Sadgurudev, Niranjan ji, I have just one quick thing to discuss about, that listening versus reading thing. Since I'm a part of a book club for past 3-4 years, so I would say in my personal experience, though I have been reading, a lot of books, and also I listen to podcasts often. So what I know and what we usually discuss in that group, when you are reading a book which is very deep and which is very complicated, then reading is the best way to do that, because we can have the more retention power and more comprehension power. But when we do listening only, I would say, when we listen some fiction, when we are multitasking, when we are listening to a story, or when like for convenience, I would say listening is the way, listening should be the way. But for Swarved, since Swarved is so complicated and it's in a different zone, so I don't think listening would ever like that is my own subjective experience. I would say it's not objective. And like apologies for that. I just want to make clear on that part. So I would say in that case, yeah, reading Swarbed is the only way, and listening is not really, not even like I would say 5 or 10%, or it doesn't make any sense to listen Swarbed. So that's what my subjective experience. And if I have used any, wrong word, then I apologize for that. Yeah, that's what I just wanted to clear. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you,
Great.
Diptiji. Thank you, Subhashi and Niranjanji. And thank you for sharing your views. And definitely, this topic needs more discussion to understand different views. And we'll try to cover this in future sessions as well, as it's already we passed the time and it's too late for Subhashji as well. And here as well, it's already we passed 1.5 hours of the session. So we'll try to take this topic further. Uh, Before going for the last prayer, if anyone have joined the session for the first time, I'll request please come forward and introduce yourself and share how you learn about this satsang. Okay, so now we have reached to the last phase of today's session, and that is Santi part. So I'll request everyone to sit down for Santi part. In Santi part, we chant for peace for everyone in this universe. May Sadgurudeo bless the entire cosmos with peace, love, and prosperity. I would now request Suruchi ji to recite last few lines of Santi part. Over to you, Suruchi ji.
जय सद्गुरुदेव शांति पाठ हे प्रभु शांति स्वरूप हो शांति शांति मैं शांति 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 जन शांति हो पूर्ण शांति मैं शांति हे प्रभु शांति प्रदान कर दूर हो सर्व अशांति देव सदा फल शांति में शांति शांति सुख शांति जय सद्गुरुदेव जय सद्गुरुदेव
Thank you very much, Suruchi ji, for concluding the session with Santi part. I would like to thank all of you for joining today's satsang. I encourage everyone to ponder upon the topic we discussed today. Special thanks to Sulabhaji, Subhash Chandraji, Suruchi ji, Niranjan ji from California, and Deepti ji to participate actively in this session, share your views, and complete this session successfully with this deep dive discussion session. So, with this, we'll meet again next week, Sunday 9 a.m. EST on the same Zoom session with some new topic. Till then, have a wonderful day to all of you. Jai Shri Gurudev.